Hey, I'm Rise. So, how about that first episode of Iron-Blooded Orphans though? Pretty hyped. Let's talk about it. I have some more information and predictions related to the show as well. This is the first impression video I've ever done, so let's have a go. So overall, I really enjoyed it and I so look forward to watching more because it left me wanting more. Although even though it was a fun episode and hopefully a fun show in the end, we're gonna need to have a little talk at the end of this video. I don't really find this to be much of an importance compared to the story, but the animation was nice. It really does feel like the show had a high budget. The movements of the machines so far seem like they have really good choreography, which is something I do look forward to, along with a very nice amount of care and detail they put into it. Story and character-wise, we see that the post-disaster era is a struggle for those living on Mars, being ruled and oppressed by Earth, as we usually see in the franchise. Orphans are plentiful, although we don't know why yet, this leading them to essentially becoming legal child soldiers for the private company CGS. We have Martians wanting to gain independence, but of course this is going to cause conflict as usual. Aina now becoming public enemy number 1 for what she wants. The main antagonist for at least the first part will be Gielahorn. Their task is to get rid of the princess along with all witnesses, being the CGS Orphans. This episode went pretty well. My favorite part was the Gundam Ex Machina moment. It gave me some good chills and I just had to keep rewatching it. I was also a little sad that the eye sensor wasn't a face laser because that would have been amazing. But oh well. Getting more into the characters, let's start with Mika. The kid is probably a low-key sociopath. That flashback clearly showed he had no remorse over murdering someone. Along with the vibe he gave off was that of Max or Mad Max, where he's really just a catalyst in the show and affecting what goes on with his actions. Really, it's to give focus to the characters around him rather than himself. Orga will be the one moving the events of the story along, with Mika helping him attain his goals. Along with this, we gain information from the Barbados kit manual, telling us that Mika can't read. This could be a problem, especially if he finds himself in danger. Before anything else, Orga's hair, just look at it. He'll use his hair to hide from the haters at least. I do like his character so far. He seems to be a very capable person with plans upon plans, which he showed when he screwed over those adults who tried to screw him over. At least for now, he may be the ship captain for the story. His actions will be the main factor of who lives or dies. I can just so see him eventually being played like a fiddle. They'll be on the run and probably make an alliance along the way, but that's an easy way for him to get screwed over, since everything is probably gonna go to shit for him. Next up, we got Aina Bernstein, the princess, the one who jump-started these events with her stance on wanting independence. From what we have so far, she's a person who wants to be on an equal level as her fellow man. Heck, she's willing to help in what she can if allowed, but for now, she's still naive. It's nice that she wants to treat everyone as an equal, but in the end they truly aren't, which Mika made clear. I do look forward to seeing her role expand and develop, to see what kind of person she'll become, especially when she finds out that her father was the one who set her up. I guess she's an orphan now, an iron-blooded orphan. Onwards, Eugene seems pretty fun. Not wanting to die a needless death, I feel bad for him already. Guts, or what they call him in the show, Akihiru, will be our side MS pilot for now. He seems pretty tough and cool-headed. And then there's Biscuit. I just find his name funny. Biscuit. I don't see him making it to the end at all. He has red flags all over his face. If anything, I'd be down to see him make a great sacrifice like Masashi did from Robo. But for the rest, yeah. They're pretty much all just Shrike Team 2.0. They're just gonna be expendable and die horribly as the show goes on. Out of the antagonists minus Blondie and Purple Hair, Ian and Crank interest me. It seems like they'll have their own subplot within the show. This will either lead Ain to be part of a tragedy and die, or cause him to join and help the orphan group. Fun facts for the Gundams is that they're based off demonology. There's supposed to be 72 uniquely named ones within this timeline. And within Ars Goetia, there are 72 demons, Barbados being the 8th demon. At least the frames of these suits are going to be pretty old. The Barbados before it was made into a reactor was in service during the Calamity War 300 years prior. There's more that can be said, but that's better left off in its own video once the show is over. If we're going by demonology, the final antagonist might end up piloting the first Gundam, King Baal, the first ruler of Hell. All these names having their own references makes me a bit excited, especially if they lead to events or abilities which relate to the names. Like Gielahorn coming from Norse mythology, a horn used by Heimdall to signal the start of Ragnarok. The Char clone will probably be Blondie, but I can already see Orga becoming a Quattro clone, much like Hamil from After Wars. Because of its high output, the machine is too much for Mika to handle for now, much like Zex and the Talgis. We now know that all the augmentations on their backs are related to piloting, Mika having 3 while others had 1 or 2. This is because he survived 3 operations which are supposed to increase his spatial awareness. I'm so up for learning more about how this system works. So we reached the end of the episode seeing how everyone's ready to embark on their adventure and where it may lead them, and I so look forward to seeing how it turns out. For now, let's have that real talk, guys. You need to stop comparing it to other Gundam shows already. It's only one episode in. Honestly, it could turn out to be complete crap in the end. Along with that, remember, it's its own show, sharing the various tropes all titles in the franchise have. It's obvious that it and the recent G-Reco clearly have different stories and messages, so comparing them seems needless. I'm already preparing for the show to spawn fans who will declare it as the greatest thing ever. It happens every time, 00 being the more recent one. So yeah, just enjoy the show and let's hope it becomes a great ride and fun addition to this long-lasting franchise. Last minute recording. So apparently it's gonna get a dub. Yeah. Well, there's only one way to end this episode, of course. Mika.